Hi, my name's Cecilia and this is my first YouTube video. I have tried over and over and over as a young person to make a YouTube account and I've never been consistent, but when I was younger I've always wanted to be a YouTube star and yada yada yada. And I gave up that dream because I realized that I couldn't be one of those like anyways, but I do love yapping, so let's see how consistent I can be about this. Today's video is sponsored. This video is inspired by Leo Skeppy. I watch Leo Skeppy so much. I really love the way he speaks about things because he speaks in such like kind of like a slightly aggressive way. Not slightly aggressive, he speaks very aggressively. And for someone who has a very, very shot nervous system, like my nervous system is shot, I could only respond to like very, very like extreme stimulus. And so like, oh, the love and light and just peace and love your way into recovery doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. I need someone to be like get up, just get up and do it. And I really appreciate the way he speaks and like the things he has to say. I think he has a lot of wisdom. I think he's lived a life. That guy has lived a life, and I appreciate people who, you know, share knowledge about that. So anyway, this video is things that are ruining your self-esteem. I have a little list over here that I'm just gonna keep looking at and just yap, and you're gonna yap away. So the first one is staying too long at the function. Now, I am someone like the next person. I like staying out as long as possible. I like bus, another club, train. Again, in the beginning I said I like a lot of stimulus, so that goes for parties. Like if I'm out, like I'm out, okay? I'm up until like 6 a.m. Like I like going to function after function after function because it's like I get bored easily and I'm like, I want to see what's next. So what's next? I'm like a huge floater at functions. Like I go to the next person and the next person. I'm like dancing. I'm like going crazy. And so, you know, I never know when to go home. But honestly, one thing that does ruin your self-esteem is staying too long at the function or staying too long out in general. I think the night starts to degenerate like after I think 1 a.m. I think so. I'm starting to get better at like knowing when to go home because honestly, like if you're not doing more substances, like it's not as fun. And like having to rely on substances to have fun after 1 a.m. is a little not the vibe. I think a healthy balance of that is great. Like if it's Halloween weekend, like yeah, bus, club, other club, blah. But I just remember like college, every weekend I'd be up, bro, up. I'd be finding out, and like I'd be like, so where are the afters? Mind you, there were no afters at my school, but I had this mindset that there were afters at a small liberal arts school full of people who wanted to be frat bros, even though they were reading Kant. Anyway, in Proust. So don't stay too late at the function. I think your insecurity, at least this is for depressed people, by the way. I think insecurities definitely come more easily when that high goes away, when that like, yeah, let's go out. I think like my favorite time of the night is like 10 p.m. when you are leaving, like you're leaving the pregame or like or the first function you go to. Like that is a great feeling. It's like that feeling is amazing. But there are only so many times where like you have that feeling over and over again. There comes a point like with stimulus where it just like starts to wear out, it starts to dull, and then it's like, all right. I think also like you become more aware of like how trivial what you're doing is. I think you become a little bit more aware of your surroundings, and it's like, oh, you should be at the gym, or like, you know what I mean? I think you become slightly more aware of like how mundane you are, like how what you're doing is trivial, and there's nothing wrong with like indulging in hedonism and indulging in like, you know what I mean, like young people activities, but like in moderation, everything in moderation. And when you spend too much time outside, then it comes a point where you're like, should I be at church? Is also kind of like connected in a way. Drinking on a bad mood, don't do it. One rule I have for myself is that I never drink alone, ever. As someone who's chronically depressed, that is one thing that I will never do. Never. Because I just already know the darkness is in there. Like, there's just perpetual darkness inside of me, and I know like it could be exacerbated through drinking and through substances. And so I always make sure like I am at a function or like with friends when I drink, because I think honestly is a social lubricant for me, if anything. I think it's more like a social lubricant, and for me, like there's no point in drinking unless it's being used for that purpose. Other than that, like if I like, just don't drink in a bad mood. And I've had so many times when I went out, like trying to like numb myself and numb my emotions, like when something bad happened, or I was in a bad mood, or I was on my period, just feeling like the PMDD symptoms, where I tried to like numb it through drinking, but instead it just like exacerbated, because alcohol is a depressant and it makes your mood low, or it could make your mood low. And you know, I've had so many dark times when I cried on someone's shoulder. Like, it's just not a vibe. Like, that's such a vibe killer. Like, that is just not, it's not worth it at all. I think just always drink in a good mood. Always drink in a good mood. Don't drink alone, and always drink in a good mood. And always drink with people. I genuinely think that you'll have a better time if you implement those rules on yourself. Because if not, you're gonna, like, when you are in those like drinking episodes, you become very hyper aware of your body. You become very hyper aware of everything, and insecurities come out, and you know, it's not fun. Like, you're gonna start thinking about your ex, you're gonna start thinking about your situationships. You're like, I will not call him, I miss him. I had so many moments where I was in college, okay? I had so many moments in college where I just was like, oh, please, I'm gonna text him. Mind you, he's blocked on everything. But I've had so many moments where I was like unblocking them, and then I was like, oh, just crying. I was like, let me do another shot. And then you're gonna lose so much aura. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Okay. A lot of these are like very mood based, because I'm very in tune with my emotions. Yeah. So the next one is going to the gym and working out on your period, or like when you don't want to. Now, this is a very, very nuanced thing, because I know there are so many studies leading towards like when you work out, it does improve mood, and I do agree with that sentiment. However, when you're in a sensitive, I think there's a difference between feeling low and being in a very sensitive mindset. And I think like if you are someone who deals with PMDD, who has periods, who has dealt with like chronic depression or like chronic mental illness, I think you can tell the difference. I think there's a huge difference. Like, feeling low is like, oh, like I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today and I'm just feeling so blah, like, or it's just raining and you're feeling blah, or like you know, a lot of just bad things happen that day and you just feel and then you go for a little run and you're like, oh, life is worth the living, like, you know what I mean? Versus in a sensitive mindset, you just start becoming very internal. I think being in a low mood has to do with a lot of external factors, versus the internal factors, which come from like disorders and blah 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 blah. And I definitely recommend against working out when you are having episodes, or like when you are on your period, because honestly, again, I'm like always keep talking about like bodies and stuff, but I think you become very hyper aware of the fact that you're doing a body altering thing, especially with lifting. I mean, if you work out for like for fun instead of like for like, I think a lot of lifters work out for very aesthetic results. But then there are also a lot of lifters who work out for like longevity of life or just for sport. And this might not apply, but I think it just applies to the gym culture, gym community in general. But like, I think this is just coming from a very gym community's perspective, because I used to be heavily into the gym community until I'm taking a huge break from lifting. But when you are in these sensitive mindsets, right, on your period, blah blah blah, you become aware that you are doing a body altering thing to your body. That leads to you looking at the mirror more and you becoming just a little bit more self-conscious of the fact that your body does not look like the way that you want it to look, or if it does, then you start picking apart the little things about yourself. Or like usually when you're in these sensitive mindsets, like I believe in like the mind and body connection makes your body just not look as optimal as you want it to look. Like when you're in your period, you're more bloated, blah blah blah. Or like in a sensitive mindset, you're probably gonna like eat more like unhealthy foods because you're like lacking in dopamine, and therefore you might be more bloated too. And like I just think it's the worst thing ever wearing like spandex. And I mean, you could work out in like baggy clothes, but even then, I think like once you like take a shower, then you're like, wow, I look really small, like where's the pump? Or like, why don't I have abs yet? You know what I mean? I think I don't recommend working out. Like I've had so many moments where like I just felt worse after working out because I forced myself to. And I think there's a difference between having discipline and forcing something into your life. Because I think having discipline is especially important with the gym. Like there are days when you're like, I don't wanna, like it's like a toddler, and then you're like, get up and go to the gym, you know what I mean? Like you're fine, just go. But like there are really some points where you need to listen to your body and listen to your mind on what you really need. And that doesn't always mean going to the gym or going on a run. Like sometimes you gotta like lay down, like sleep in a little bit. Like you don't always have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be a health and wellness influencer or whatever, to care about health and wellness. Sometimes it's waking up at 12 and like watching a movie. Like we are, especially as people who have like uteruses, but then also people who like have like just like very very varied emotions based on hormones. So I know a lot of people who don't have uteruses like have that too because they're taking hormones or something like that. I think the feelings attached to that are very valid, and I think you should listen to that. Like listen to that. There's nothing wrong with listening to those parts of your bodies. And yeah, don't go to the gym in a bad mood. I think there's a difference between not wanting to go and being in a genuine bad mood. Next one is not prioritizing beauty treatments. I don't wear a lot of makeup and stuff, but I do like beauty. Like I am heavily into beauty because I'm a model. Like I it's inevitable for me to care about my appearance and aesthetic appearance. I'm just not that great at makeup / I just don't look that great in it. But whenever I do wear makeup, it's like very like graphic liner, very like queer makeup. Not like, I don't know how to beat my face. I'm learning. I want to learn how to beat my face actually, especially when it comes to modeling. I think it's good to learn how to beat your face. But as of now, I don't wear a lot of makeup. But beauty treatments for me entail getting my brows done. That's a huge one for me. I love, that's the one thing. Like when I get my brows done, like I feel like my entire facial harmony just like together, versus like when I don't get my brows done, like I just feel so awful about myself. I'm like, wow, my life's falling apart now. I think like if you keep like one thing consistent, like regarding like aesthetic upkeep about yourself, like no matter how broke you are, like um I think that would keep everything afloat, keep your life afloat. Like I think just hanging on to one thing that like makes things like that makes you improve your life, like no matter how bad it gets, definitely like keeps you sane. Yeah, eyebrows is a big one for me. Nails is a new one for me. I grew up with a father who didn't let me do my nails, so like I'm not that attached to like getting my nails done, but I am trying to become more of a nails person because every single time I get my nails, just the whole process of getting a mani-pedi is so, it makes me feel so pampered and so taken care of and so like pretty, and it's like, oh, I got my little nails. Like I start doing things a little bit more delicately to show off my nails. It's like someone with an engagement ring like being like, oh my god, hey, like, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm a little bit more delicate and a little bit more I just feel a little bit more confident about my femininity and just like confident about myself. So I think keeping these like little upkeep things, like I'm not saying get like a whole like $500 facial all the time, but I'm just saying like these tiny little things that you do, like trim your hair, what else do people do? Dermaplaning. I know people do like exfoliating treatments like once a week, and I'm not saying like the ones that you go and do, but I'm talking about like you literally, like I think Ordinary has like a $6 one. The red one that smells so good. I love the smell of the Ordinary one. I actually need to start doing that again because that actually really worked on my face, and then I stopped for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, keeping up with these things, like at least one thing definitely helps with your self-esteem. And if you don't prioritize it, then I think like very slowly but surely like you start to like not really want to put any effort in your appearance at all. And I think getting up to put effort in your appearance slightly does help. And to go off of that, I think like not changing your outfit like this, hold on, pause. I'm gonna put a disclaimer because like again, as someone who's chronically depressed, I think we do have our episodes, and I want to hold space for that because I think it's very important to realize that there are sometimes moments when you can't. But I think making an effort to change your outfit every day brings your mood light years up. I have not been out of my house yet, like once, and it's like, it's 3 p.m. and it feels like night because I am in the Northeast and it is fall. So it feels like the day is just completely over and I have not been out of my house. I was just feeling so depressed. So depressed, dude. And I had to drag myself out of bed and take a shower and like change my outfit. So it's like, I want to start making content. I want to start yapping at a camera. Like I'm so depressed and so I feel so bad about myself. Well, why don't I try to fix it by talking about it and like helping people who are in a very similar boat? And so, yeah. By the way, I talk very jerky because I'm neurodivergent. Yeah. I think it's super important that if you stay in the same pajamas, same dingy pajamas, mind you guys, because depressed people don't shower enough. Let's be real. Let's be real. Same dingy pair of underwear. I'm clocking y'all. Same dingy pair of shorts. Same shirt from like a 5K you did like 3 years ago. Yeah. Pit stains. Yeah, I see you. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, mismatched socks. I'm talking to you. Anyway. Yeah. To go off of that, not sleeping enough. Now, this is an interesting one because I just graduated college. And you guys know how college operates. College operates on a sleep deficit. If you're not like, after a week of not sleeping because you're finishing assignments, then you're gonna spend the weekend going out and then like not sleeping because you're going out because you need to unwind after like being emotionally like violated for a whole week, like, and just going through a roller coaster of emotions of like just being in an academic institution. Yay. So I was chronically not sleeping, and I had to learn how to prioritize sleep. And I still have a lot of trouble with that because it's just ingrained in my brain not to sleep. And I actually procrastinate sleep. Like I'm like, I gotta sleep, and I'm like, oh, like, but I gotta sleep. I gotta like start getting ready to sleep. But yeah, if you don't prioritize your sleep, first of all, you look worse. But I look back at my photos of when I was not sleeping, and there was not light. There was no light in my face. There was no light in my eyes. I just looked dead, and also my skin tone was just so dull. Like I had these huge eye bags that I thought were genetic, but I was just like chronically like undersleeping. My skin was drier. I have eczema, so my skin's always dry, but my skin was like not sleeping enough. And also, you know, because you're not sleeping enough, you're not in the best cognitive state. And because you're not in a good cognitive state, you're going to be more depressed again. And I feel like your self-esteem is going to be down. And then you're also just going to you're going to eat horribly because you're undersleeping. You're going to be more hungry. And then you're going to pick up the food that's going to give you more dopamine. And the food that gives you more dopamine is usually junk food. And so you're going to pick up that more. And you're going to be addicted to caffeine probably because you're undersleeping. And then, you know, caffeine, the huge caffeine crash is going to make you feel worse. Self-esteem and not sleeping enough go hand in hand. Like I know people are always like, get 8 hours of sleep, and it's so like redundant. And like I used to be one of those people who used to be so annoyed with that because I'm like, well, I like go to the gym like nearly every day, like, and I run and I'm active, and like I don't understand why nothing is working. Like all these people are like, just sleep every day. I do sleep. What are they talking about? Like I do sleep. Like I thought I had my health under control because I went to the gym regularly and I ate semi-healthily. Healthy. Like, I wasn't prioritizing my sleep and water and vegetables and fiber. Like I was just prioritizing protein and working out. Like that's not gonna do anything, like at all. I mean, of course it's gonna do something. You're gonna get the muscles, but it's gonna be at a price. I had muscles, but I was always inflamed, like always, and always depressed, and always farting. That combination is bad. Number whatever, always farting. Anyway, wearing something that doesn't flatter you. I'll make a whole video about this because this is directly tied to my gender expression, gender identity, and I'm gonna tell you my whole like fashion journey. I think it's important that I talk about that. But for the longest time, you know, my style has always been quirky, but I was very hyper focused on being hyper feminine and trying to have a body that I didn't have, and wearing things of like people who had bodies that I didn't have, trying to force my body to look that way despite not doing that. I am 6'1", 180 pounds. I am a size 8 or maybe a 6 on a good day, okay? And I was looking at these bodies of like these 5'9", 120 pound like woman, and that's where I got my inspo from. And I tried so hard to wear clothes that like they wore, and then I was like, why don't I look like that? I'm so depressed. Why don't I look like that? Why don't I look like that? You know, something that I would always wear that did not flatter me really, but I tried to force it. Baby tees and tube tops. Tube tops, a big one. I have big boobs, not giant boobs, but I have a big cup size. They're not big boobs, but I have a big cup size. Therefore, tube tops slide down all the time. Constantly going like this, like kind of brings your self-esteem down because you're more aware of what you're wearing. You're more aware that what you're wearing doesn't fit you. And therefore, you're like, why doesn't it fit my body? Does my body suck? Like, it also just kind of looked weird on me. I loved showing my shoulders and like my calf shoulders and my collarbones, but like just the way that it like, because I have I have pecs, and then I have my boobs because I have lower set boobs and then pecs. Just thought it didn't feel like it was complimenting my body versus like something that had straps complimented my body a little bit more, and then it lifted my boobs a bit more. There's nothing wrong with having saggy boobs, but I'm just saying, like, for me personally, it did not compliment my body. But I tried to force it because I saw the little 110-pound 5'9" girls wearing it, and their waist was like, and I was like, if I wear that, my waist would be like too. I'm trying to think of what else did I wear that like did not compliment my body that I like tried to make work. I can't think of anything, but there were just like a lot of like trending clothes that I tried to wear that did not compliment my body, but I tried to force it because they were trending. Yeah, you do not have to wear stuff because they're trending. Which is like duh, but I'm just saying, is as someone who like tried so hard to be normal and tried so hard to fit in, like I think I'm gonna make a video about this too. I like trends. There are some trends that I embrace wholeheartedly. I think trends are cool, but you don't have to adhere to those trends in order to like be in an in group or like feel accepted. The best kind of trend is like cherry picking what works for you. If that includes something very trendy, then like that's up to you. That's your vibe, and that's fine. Like, do whatever you want. But there are a lot of things that are trendy that only work for like very, very, very small bodies. And I'm saying this as a thin person, but I'm not a small person. You know what I mean? I'm thin, but I'm not small. I'm not petite at all. I'm muscular, and I have thick thighs, and like I'm skinny, but like, you know what I mean? I'm not. Anyway. So yeah, I tried so hard to like fit into like wayfish clothes that would fit more wayfish body types, and I realized that now I need to find clothes that fit me, that make me look good and make me feel, okay? Big one, guys. Make you feel good, okay? Doesn't matter. I got rid of so many clothes where like I was like, my god, my body looks so T in this, my body looks so T in this, but I felt like really bad about myself. Like it just didn't feel like me. I got rid of a lot of clothes, and it was hard because I was like, my body looks so T, bro, my body looks so T, but I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel. Yeah, I think that combination is the best. Like finding something that makes your body look T and then you also feeling like yourself, like, you know, like that is the best combination. Another one about functions. Yes, I am a party girl, whatever. But honestly, I'm recovering one because I'm realizing that I was forcing myself into those situations to feel normal, and I actually don't really like parties as much as I do. I like house parties, like very small ones, where I could actually hear the person talking, there's music, and people could actually dance. I like raves and house parties, okay? Raves, you don't talk to anyone, or if you do, like, it's like, you guys are just vibing and dancing. But I realized that I like them in doses, like once a month functions, maybe twice. I need to load. I was not loading in college at all. Yeah, but not having a buffer between work and the funk. So what I would do in college is I would work at the school. We had a school restaurant. I was dishwashing, and sometimes dishwashing would last until like 10 p.m. because it would close at like 7, and then I would be dishwashing until like 10 or something, because like sometimes it'll be really, really busy days, and like I'd just be like dishwashing, da da da. Never dishwashing again. Don't dishwash, guys. Do not dishwash. My pain receptors are shot. Like I would be holding like something really hot, and like people would be like, careful, careful, and I'm like, huh? Oh. Don't worry, guys. I did dishwashing, and they'll be like, oh. Yeah. So then after, literally as I was dishwashing, I'd be pre-gaming. As I was dishwashing, I had my little drinky drink on the side and just dishwashing. I don't know. I was on some weird timing in college. So I'd be doing that, and then I'd really go to my, after that, I would go to my house, and then like quick change, quick makeup. Makeup entailed literally me putting glitter all over my body. And then I would zoom over to the function, whatever function that was. And I didn't realize how tired I was at the time until literally when I graduated. I had just like the whole summer was me just being exhausted. I was like, I don't know what it is. Like, why am I so exhausted? I'm so tired all the time. I don't know what it is. Why am I sleeping for so long? Like, no amount of sleep is making me feel better. Because there's no space between work and the funk, okay? If you work a 9 to 5, right? I don't work a 9 to 5 yet. I work a part-time job right now. Just graduated. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me time. But when I would have even when I would work, right? And I would get off at like 4. I get off at 4, but then by the time I get home, it'd be like maybe 5:30. And then the funk is at like 8 or something. I would give myself, like, I wouldn't, like, see, old me would start getting ready at 5, right? Because I'm someone who, when I'm going to a funk, okay, like, I'm dressing up down and pre-gaming and listening to music and just getting in my groove and blah, blah, blah. Now what I do is decompress. I make sure I eat, decompress, then get ready. And that entails, eating. First of all, eating something nourishing and that fills you up. Okay, that's very important. Very, very important. I've had many a time where I did not eat enough before a funk and ended up embarrassing myself. Don't do that. Eat. Please eat. Please eat. I don't care how many carbs are in alcohol. You gotta eat. Eat. I'm looking at you. Eat something very nourishing. Take a nap or something. I am not a huge nap person. I'm like trying so hard to be a nap person. I'm trying so hard, but sometimes I just get too excited before the funk and I'm like, so sometimes I would just take a little walk. Just like get the nerves out. Like a good like meditative walk, or I would watch a movie or a show or some kind of thing that just like, that would meditate if you want. I don't know. Meditating also is very hard for me. Trying to get into that. But for me, meditating, I write. Writing is meditating or doing something. I meditate by action versus like just, I can do that, yeah. I pray. But like, anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Yeah. You need to have a buffer. So yeah, after I do all of that, right, I spend like a good hour or 2 hours or hour and a half doing that. Then I would start getting ready. Then I would start putting on the Chief Keef and start hyping myself up and start re-gaming and start just, I think having that good buffer definitely makes you a little bit more in tune with your body. Listening to your body's cues. I think a lot of the time when we go to these functions and parties, like, we are ignoring our body's cues in some way, shape, or form, like, even if it is a little bit, you know what I mean? And so putting yourself in a position like that requires you to have as good as a baseline as possible, as optimal of a baseline as possible. And if you are at if your blood sugar is, if your blood pressure is as low as possible, if your mood and energy is as low as possible, in a good way, not tired, but just like very neutral. If you're on a very neutral baseline, going out on a neutral baseline is the best feeling ever, because like you don't know what to expect, and like when your mood, when you're on a neutral baseline, like versus like being low, you're just more hyped up at the funk. You're less likely to be disappointed, because if you're going to a funk and you're like, like, you know, it could either go two ways. Like, you're like, yeah, and the energy matches, or like you're disappointed and you're like, oh, well, what now? Like, you know. But yeah, try to get as neutral as possible. If you have like, I get the Zoom memes before, I get the Zoom memes. Shake this out. Shake this out. I'm so serious. Gotta shake this out. And then, you know, then hype yourself up. You gotta like make sure you again neutralize any like residual energy first. Like, just like shake it out or something, or sleep or something, you know what I mean? Then actively put yourself into that mindset instead of like letting it happen to you. You'll have more fun that way, and also like that would help your self-esteem more, because I think like having a buffer makes you so depressed, dude. Like, it makes you just like, you got the work drama still in the back of your head. You're still thinking, you're still making coffees for people. Guys, if you didn't know, I'm a barista, obviously. Still got the work air on you. Dude, there's nothing more awful than having work air on you, or you're at the funk. Take a shower too. Take a shower before the funk. Take that work air off of you, okay, as much as possible. Shower, sleep, shit, shave if you want to. I shave every once in a while. Yeah, watch a show. Get yourself at that baseline, and you feel so much better about yourself. Trust me. You're not gonna be thinking about how awful that customer treated you and how you're just like worker bee hog in the capitalist machine, or like, you're not gonna be thinking about that. You're just gonna be thinking about, oh my god, I'm hot and having fun and I'm silly. Oh, I'm so young and dumb. I touched on this a little bit while talking about like drinking and stuff, but like, yeah, something that ruins your self-esteem is not eating enough. And I know a thing or two about this as a model, okay? It's difficult because I have the other kind where I just like I eat too much. But I do have moments where I don't eat enough, and it's like, it's detrimental to your mental health. Like, you can't even begin to explain or express like how bad that is for you to not eat enough. Especially, dude, if you're tall, eat more than you think you should eat. Like, being short also, like, eat enough too. But I'm just saying, like, especially when you're tall, like, dude, my maintenance is 3,000 calories. I don't even eat close to that, but like, it's such a crazy thing to think about. Like, 3,000 calories. Oh, that's crazy. Like, because I'm muscly. Like, you know, I'm tall and muscular and yeah, you know, like 3,000, crazy maintenance. Yeah, if you don't eat enough, of course, like, you just become so like, food. You become, when you're in survival mode, like, you are not happy, you're not hot and having fun, you're just depressed and hungry. Like, duh, your mental health is going to be to the floor and beyond in hell. You're not sleeping. Also, you're not sleeping enough. If you're not eating enough, you're not sleeping well. Nothing is functioning well at all. How are you going to have fun? You're not. You're going to feel awful about yourself. And when you're not eating enough, like, your body starts tweaking. When your body starts tweaking, that starts showing physically. And your body's not going to look to you when you're not eating. Okay? Enough. You're not eating enough. Body's not going to look as tea as you want it to look. Just saying. Just saying. And to add to that, eating too healthy. Now, this is for my dopamine fiends, okay? As someone who is very black and white when it comes to healthy eating and stuff, which I'm trying to fix, and I am fixing slowly and recovering from that slowly. When I have my health kicks, I only eat healthy food. There is no if, not, buts, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I'm either in a very healthy eating mood, or I'm gonna gorge and engorge in everything. I'm just gonna eat absolutely everything. I'm gonna eat absolutely everything unhealthy. And these days I'm trying to find an in-between, because my brain needs the unhealthy food, or I will unalive myself. Just saying. I need the cheese. But for me, I don't even have cheese that much anymore because my body's kind of allergic to cheese. But I need the greasy food. I need it every once in a while. I do. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's the way our brains are wired. And unfortunately, like, we're in 2025. Like, we have brains that are attached to this stimulus, and like that needs dopamine. It's so dopamine deficient. Even the people with non-ADHD are dopamine deficient, you know. But like, especially if you have ADHD, like eating too healthy is so depressing. Like, my self-esteem is to the ground because like I'm someone who bloats a lot, and it's like, oh, I'm already bloated. Why am I bloated? I literally, all I had was kale today, and like, why am I so bloated? Maybe because you're restricting your food so much, dude. How about that? How about them apples? But maybe not apples. Maybe you want a donut. Okay, maybe not. How about them donuts? How about them? Have them. I dare you. It's not the end of the world if you have like the pastries. It's not. You'll be fine. Just do it. You'll be okay. You'll live. You'll live. Self-esteem will be to the ground if you just only eat kale and chicken every day. Like, food is, I know people are like, food is sustenance, food is fuel, like, it should be only fuel. Like, I don't know about you, but we are sensory creatures. Like, I think yes, food is fuel, and like, we shouldn't be so attached to food, like, providing us. I think the bottom line is food should not be the sole source of dopamine, sole source of happiness for you. However, there's nothing wrong with having food as one of the sources of happiness, right? If you have multiple streams of income, like, you're not gonna be that worried about like one stream of income falling off, or one stream of income like being the primary one. If you got your side business, and then you got your like crochet business, and then you have your like 9 to 5, and then you're an influencer, like, you're never gonna be worried about money. Same thing with like dopamine. Like, if you have multiple streams of income from dopamine, you're not gonna be worried about getting dopamine. You're not gonna be overly reliant on one thing. Like, you'll be fine. You'll be balling. But yeah, those are all the things that I can think of. I ranted a lot and rambled a lot and just yapped, because that's my favorite thing. I love talking. I love talking. One thing about me is I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk. Y'all are gonna listen. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a blessed week. Love y'all. The YouTube thing.